What is up, everybody? Welcome back. We're going to be diving into the NBA playoffs on Sorare. We are so close to the playoffs. Each team has about 6 or 7 games left, so we are so close to no longer having to look at the Portland Trail Blazers, the San Antonio Spurs, the Charlotte Hornets, and the Houston Rockets. As we start to narrow down what teams are actually left in the playoffs, the rotations of those teams also narrow down, which makes it a little bit easier to project minutes, but it makes it harder to find guys off the beaten path. So what I'm going to do over the next few minutes is show you some of the plays that I'm most excited about heading into the playoffs. And we're not talking about Jokic, Embiid, Giannis, Tatum, Ja Morant, Steph Curry. Obviously, we know those guys are going to be superstars. And we know they're going to be out on the court, but everybody knows that. So who are some of these players that can survive the tightened rotations in the playoffs that people might not already be excited about? And of course, if you're new to Sorare, sign up today using the link in the show notes. It'll get you 20 free common cards, and if you buy 5 on auction, you'll get a 6 free, and that's for basketball, baseball, and football. Soccer for you Americans. So let's get started with De'Anthony Melton. I'm always excited about guards like De'Anthony Melton who can contribute in a bunch of different ways. He's got a solid three-point shot, but he's a steal and blocks machine, so that's good for Sorare scoring. But more importantly, he's a guy that actually gets extended run in the playoffs. The Sixers backcourt is so interesting because they have the lightning rods of James Harden and Tyrese Maxey, who are offensive gods, but they bring almost the exact opposite energy to the defensive end, and in the playoffs, those things get exposed. It's the same matchup, the two teams playing each other upwards of 7 times in a series, and so they're gonna know a Harden and Maxey backcourt is a problem on the defensive side. So I think we might see a little bit more of Melton as the playoff run goes. Now again, I know that's not a sexy pick, but I think it is someone who might be getting a little overlooked right now, and then when we get to the 4th game of a series, we'll be like, wish I had that Melton. All right, we're heading to Boston now to pick up Derek White. When you think of Boston, you know Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are the offensive monsters. You got Al Horford, Robert Williams. We'll probably see too much of Grant Williams. We've got 6th Man of the Year candidate Malcolm Brogdon, but arguably their 3rd best player this entire season has been Derek White. I think we all remember Derek White on the Sorare streets for when he dropped a 70 bomb on us. But Coach Mazzulla of the Celtics has been weird with Derek White in his rotation, but as we get closer to the playoffs, he's going to be leaned on a little bit more heavily, especially because White has been out there outplaying Marcus Smart. Derek White is similar to De'Anthony Melton in the sense that they can do it on both sides of the court, but also brings a little bit more playmaking and offensive facilitation to the skill set. All right, this next one has a ton of risk involved, but because of that, I'll give you the safer option too. I've been hesitant to get on board with the Golden State Warriors. Andrew Wiggins hasn't played since the All-Star break, but if they do go on a playoff run, it's probably because Wiggins comes back. And right now, Andrew Wiggins has pretty much been out of sight, out of mind for anyone in the Sorare streets. And if he does come back, he immediately becomes the 3rd most important player on that team. I'm sorry, Draymond. I'm putting Wiggins ahead of you. We saw what Wiggins did last year on their championship title run. We know he can fill up the box score, both again on the offensive side and the defensive side of things. And if they are going to make a deep playoff run, it's because Wiggins is back. Okay, fine. Too spicy for you, too scary, too risky? Then let me give you the safe first. Andrew Wiggins 2.0, Jonathan Kaminga. Kaminga's been playing some really good basketball here down the stretch, mostly on the defensive end, and that defense is going to be what keeps him on the court. And if they don't have Wiggins, they're going to need Kaminga to be that guy. Both Wiggins and Kaminga do have some risk because if Wiggins comes back, you probably don't need Kaminga. But this is what it's going to take to be successful during these playoff tournaments on Sorare. Because again, of course, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Jordan Poole, all of those guys make sense. But what we're doing here is trying to find some of the guys that might slip through the cracks that can give you an advantage later in the playoff run. So sign me up for some Wiggins and Kaminga. Okay, if those last 2 picks were too risky for you, you will hate this one, which is why I like it. We're going to Denver, and it's Christian Braun. You're going to want to say Braun because that's how it's spelled, but it's Brown. And if you don't trust me, just trust the chat during any of my live streams when I do say Braun by accident. Over the last few weeks, Christian Braun is slowly seeing his role evolve a little bit. With the removal of Bones Highland in the trade to the Clippers and Reggie Jackson not really panning out, Braun has turned into that guard. It's usually hard for rookies to gain trust with Michael Malone in Denver, but Christian Braun has clearly done that as his role has continued to evolve. He gives you length on the defensive side of things. We've seen him throw down a poster or two, and with Denver, along with Phoenix being the favorites of the West, it's likely that they make a run. So what can Braun do for you? All right, I'm going to give you one more play. And as you can tell from this video, the longer it goes, the riskier it gets. And there's no exception to this last one. We're going down under, mate. For Steven Adams of of the Grizzlies. There's still no clear timetable of when he's going to come back, so this could be literally flushing money down the toilet. But here's the thing. The Grizzlies no longer have Brandon Clark. They've been playing a ton of Xavier Tillman. And as highlighted by every single NBA podcast for 2 straight months, apparently Steven Adams is the most valuable player in Memphis right now. The Grizz, who looked like they were in a free-for-all, both on the court and off the court. But the Grizz have been hot over the last few weeks and are right now in the 2 seed in the West, primed to make a deep run. The Western Conference is wide open. Denver's the favorites. No one believes in them. Kevin Durant's only played a few games with his team. The Golden State Warriors are a mess. Every single team has a shot right now, but no one's paying attention to the Grizzlies. And when you look at the Grizz, of course, John Morant, Desmond Bane, Jaren Jackson Jr., those 3 make the most sense. But Steven Adams is going to be needed, especially when you look at some of the bigs they could be going up against, like Domantas Sabonis for the Kings, DeAndre Ayton for the Suns, and of course, Nikola Jokic from the Denver Nuggets. And there you have it. Those are going to be some of the guys I'm going to be targeting in the NBA So Rare contest as we head towards the playoffs. And again, whether you like these plays or not, I hope you use this line of thinking to figure out how you're going to best build your lineups as we head towards the playoffs. As always, I appreciate you guys hanging out. Please let me know in the comments who you're most excited to lock into your playoff lineups, what takes of mine you hated, and what takes you had. And check out all the links we have in the show notes. Make sure you join the Discord, like this video, subscribe to Team Hold, join our private leagues, hang out with us on Playback. We have so much to offer over here at Team Hold. And best of luck as we head towards the playoffs. Go Celtics, kid!